Hello, friends, and welcome to Perception Paints. It's starting.
Hello.
We're here.
I missed you guys. Thank you for being so patient over the last couple of weeks. Work has been insane,
Yeah,
but I'm happy to be back. I have missed you guys. How are you, Art? Everything good?
I'm good. Yeah, doing a lot of
I
stuff.
was trying. I was trying not to listen to Cinephilia because I hadn't watched anything of Winter Soldier yet.
No, you have to watch it.
I know. I really want to.
It's only six episodes,
Oh, okay.
so you get
Well,
through it
I
quick.
should have. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Um, Hello. I'm Robert Fisher, and you guys know Art,
That's me.
of course. And this is Perception Paints. Ta-da! I'll be guiding you step by step today. We are painting a Avatar: The Last Airbender themed painting. See, it's this fun, like abstract look at the different symbols of the elemental bending. Um,
See,
so
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
this will be fun. There we go. I love this one. We're doing this in honor of our friend Connie because
Oh
she
yeah.
likes Avatar, and um, she deserves to have a good day today. So we're going to do a painting in her honor. So to Connie, yay! So before we get started, let's go through materials and make sure we have everything that we need.
Cool.
So first off, I've got my canvas. This is a 16 by 20 inch canvas. You can see that there's a little Pac-Man design on it because it's just left over from a uh, previous painting that we had done.
Uh-oh.
Oops,
Sorry. You.
am I there?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, you just
Okay.
clicked out for a second.
Um, so you can use any material that you'd like, paper, watercolor paper. If you got a canvas of any size or shape, that'll be fine too. Um, and then next up, you'll want a cup of water. You'll want this to wash off your brushes as you're working through. I'm using acrylic paints today, but you can use anything that you like, of course. Um, that said, if you don't have paint or you're not painting or drawing with us physically, you can also use uh, digital artwork. You can do this on an iPad or Surface Pro or MS Paint or whatever you want to do. Necrofilm, curse you, Zoom. Yeah, I know. This isn't even Zoom, and it's still. It's more like curse you, sad San Clemente. Cox is the only internet we can get here. Hi. Little pup saying hi. Okay, so I've got a cup of water. Make sure you have this nearby for your brushes to clean them out. In addition to a cup of paint water, you will want something to drink. So I've got my drink here. This is just lemon water.
Mine's purple
Ta-da!
water.
What does purple water taste like?
Like grape candy.
Purple.
By the way, I forgot I made names for us.
You did?
Remember last
Like,
time?
oh, yay! Guys, that's me. I love that. I was watching the other day and I loved that Chunk was using like papyrus.
That was Ryan. Because I made fun of his
Oh,
titles. I'm
oh, it was so
Chunk.
good.
Chunk can be very critical of the overlay setups, like live.
So funny. Oh, I love it. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Just in case you wanted to know what my name was. And then this is Trixie. Hi, Trixie. She's bugging me. She wants some attention. So I'll say hi. Okay, go play. Go play. All right. So next up, you will want a towel.
I'll be back.
So I've got my microfiber towel here that I just wash when I'm done with it. You can also use a napkin or paper towel or anything you have available to you. And then you'll want this towel to make sure that you aren't using too much water on your paintbrush before you apply the paint to the canvas. And the reason you don't want too much water on your brush is because if you do have too much water on your brush and you apply that brush to the canvas, the water will drip down the canvas and just kind of rip all the paint off of it. You'll get the strip going down. So I want you to get into the habit of drying off your brush after you've washed it thoroughly and just dabbing it dry and getting the paint as you normally would. Looks like I'm coming in a little chunky. Hold on just a second. Speaking of chunk, I just want to make sure that we're looking our best. The woes of the internet, seriously. Doesn't matter if I'm plugged in hardwire or not. Okay. Speaking of brushes, I'm using my standard 3 brushes. I have a large, a medium, and a small brush. You can use any size or type brushes that you have available, but really, as long as you have a large, medium, and small, you'll be good to go. My large brush is a 1-inch flat brush. My medium brush is a 1/2-inch flat brush. And then my small brush is a number 3 round brush for some of the details later on. Necrofilm better. Thank you. I'll try to keep an eye on it. I need to refresh it every now and then. I'm sure my husband's downstairs watching The Love Boat, and it's competing streaming right now. I'll have to kick him off later. I'm also going to be using my favorite little like chunky stippling brush, just like a bristle brush. This will help with some of the textures as we're creating some of the smoky effect that you see on the sample up there. So I've got this too, but if you don't have something like this, that's okay. You can use just a large brush and get the same effect. Next up, you'll want some paint. Now, you can see from our sample that we're using a lot of colors. It's essentially every color of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue. There's a little purple in there. We're using mostly black. There's little touches of white. But you'll see as we go through and we're creating different shades and tints of the colors, you'll add either a green to white to lighten it up a little bit, or maybe you want to create a little more yellow-green, or if you want to darken it, you can add some blue or some black. So I'll help you along that as we go so that we're all kind of on the same page when we're mixing colors. But as long as you have red tones for the firebenders, you'll want blue tones for the waterbenders, you'll want a greenish tone for the earthbenders, and then you'll see for the airbenders, it's actually kind of a smoky white gray. There's a little like umber brown in there too. So as long as you have white and some grays, you'll be fine there too. Art's back. Ta-da!
I am back.
Okay, so we went through all our materials. I think we're ready to go. But first off, we'll do a quick little toast, as we do. So we'll drink and we'll paint the best that we can. And if it don't turn out right, who gives a damn? Boop. Cheers. Also, as we're going through today, if any of you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat there. I'm watching that live too, so if you have any questions, drop them in there. We also, on our Discord at Perception Paints, you can find Perception Paints Share, and then that way you can show us the live feed of your own painting and your own drawing, so we can take a look at it. And if you want to show me, hey, is this looking all right? I can take a look at it. And Art will actually bring them up on the screen so we can all see what's going on. And yeah, let's get started. I think we're ready to go. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my large brush. I'm going to save my chunky stipple brush for the end, for all the black that's going on top. We're going to start with our colors first. And I think I'm just going to start with my reddish tones. Now, as you're going through in these kind of color families, you can see on the right, we have the red color family, the blue color family, green color family, and then this white grayscale color family. As we're in each family, feel free to use whatever colors you want that kind of stay within that family. So this bottom one that we're doing for firebending, you'll want to stick with the reds, the oranges, and the yellows. And we're just kind of stacking them all on top of each other with this very loose, organic, just kind of abstract way. So I'm going to take my red and just put a little bit on my brush. We're working along in the center third of our canvas. So if we're going to divide our canvas lengthwise in 1, 2, 3 sections, we're working in the center third. And then you also want to divide it into fourths. So divide it in half again. So I'm going to be working on this bottom fourth down here first. And I'm just very loosely tapping some color in there. You really don't have to be too deliberate with where you're putting this color, just as long as you're staying within those kind of parameters that you're setting for yourself within like the quarter of the canvas.
There's Ryan. He's doing a great job.
Ooh. Is that in the studio? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
our normal perception check wall that we used to use. Sitting there.
I still need to come and visit you guys in the studio at some point.
Yeah.
By the way, fully vaccinated.
Sweet.
Hallelujah. I'm so thankful, so grateful.
This Thursday will be the first day where everybody who was there that day will be fully vaccinated and have the 2 weeks thing that you do. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
we're I'm so glad. I love that. Very, very thankful and grateful that we have this access and we're able to make the decision to make things better for everyone. Okay, so I've got the red on there. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. And just like with the red, tapping on touches of yellow. And I'm just finding spots where I can tap it on top. Maybe some of the yellow is a bit brighter. Maybe it's blending with the red underneath it to create some orangey tones. And what you can also do, aside from tapping, is just put some color blocks in there. So maybe I'm just swashing on a nice chunk of yellow here and there. So I keep resetting it just because I don't know what the video is doing today. Who knows? It's Monday. There we go. That's feeling pretty good. Necrofilm could almost do this as a scratch board. A scratch board, like where the color's underneath it and you're scratching the black off the top of it to create the pattern. Is that what you're talking about? I used to love that as a kid. Like, remember making your own, how did you, like, you color on with crayons, right? Oh no, it was colored pencil. You would color colored pencil, fill a paper, and then cover the surface with a black crayon, and then you would scratch off area of the black crayon to reveal the color underneath it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. My teachers would get so mad. They're like, you're supposed to be doing math right now. Leave me alone. I'm going to be an artist. You don't know my life. And Necrofilm had their first Pfizer shot. Yay! Next awesome. One on May 9th. Good. So glad to hear that.
Do you have any issues?
No, I had nothing, awesome. Thankfully. Yeah, I had Pfizer as well. No issues. Jared had Moderna. No issues. We both got very lucky. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thankful for that. Okay, so I've got my red, orange, yellow field down here in the center. Next up, actually, let's build it out more. I want more. I'm just going to keep going. I would say leave at least an inch or two from the sides. You don't have to fill all of your canvas up, but go ahead and add that color. Just have some fun with it. Anything that you don't like, later on, we're going to cover up with black paint. So you may as well just overpaint now, and then you can cover it up later.
Necrofilm says, just a sore arm like a Charlie horse. Yeah, that's primarily the thing.
That's all I got, too. It lasted for a few days. Yeah, that was it.
My second shot, I don't know what... It was a firefighter who gave it to me. I don't know what he hit. But after I took it, I was because Ryan and I went together. I was like, my arm hurts, but not like the normal Charlie horse, like that pain that you normally get from a shot. I was like, there's another layer of pain. I don't know what it is. Later that night, when I took off my Band-Aid, because they gave a little cotton ball with like a tape on it just to cover it. It was full of blood. Like I bled a whole bunch.
Oh.
Yeah, like normally you get the little dot, like a little dot or something. Yeah, no, it was like this huge, I don't know what if he had hit a vein or something on the way in, but like I bled and that's why it hurt.
That's so weird.
That was really weird.
Yeah, he must have just got something special. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm going to get art real good on this one.
It was funny because we sat, when we got there, they were remixing the vaccine. So I had to sit there with them for a little bit. And the two firefighters over there with me, they were very interested in Perception Studio. So I pulled up videos for them. And
nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because they asked me, "What do you do?" I was like, oh, "Okay, here we go." Well, other weird
Number
stuff.
one. Oh, I lost my paint lid. Oh well, I'll find it later. Dog will find it. All right, so there's my red, yellow, orange family. And next I'm just going to build this up. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to live in the kind of white, black, grayscale. Not going quite black because I want to leave the black for the sides. So I'm washing off my brush to make sure I don't have any of those red, orange, yellow tinges in there. And I'm going to start off with some white. This is actually an off-white that I'm using called parchment, but it's essentially like whitish eggshell kind of color. So now I'm working in this next fourth of my canvas. Again, if I'm splitting the canvas in half there, I'm going to work from the middle down. And just tapping that on just like last time. And as I start to add on this second color family, feel free to tap that in along the edges just to blend it a little bit. You don't want to work too heavily into the color family underneath it because you don't want the colors to start to bleed and create some weird color families. But you do want them to overlap just a little bit so it starts to be really nice and uniform. Like you don't want any of the reds to start coming up into here. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to wash this off real quick just to make sure I don't have any of the red in there. Terrence, sorry I'm late. Had to get some cabbages before his stall gets ruined again.
Yeah.
What?
Because Avatar?
Oh. Necrofilm says, I imagine it's a lot like Doofenshmirtz when you describe Perception Studio. Well, I had a lot of felt. I can see that. I can imagine you like describing the process and what it really is.
You know what I always get when I say, "Oh, we do stuff with puppets." It's always, are they like puppets like this or puppets like this? I mean, they mean marionettes. I was like, no, puppets
like that's funny.
like
I thought it was like, are they puppets like this or puppets like this? You know, is he like? That's funny. Art, have you used marionettes very much?
Not really. I mean, I played with them, but I've never performed.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever even like held an actual marionette. Now that I think about it,
I did have a conversation with do you remember Greg Valora?
Mm-hmm.
About doing something with marionettes, like a business with marionettes and stuff. And then COVID happened, and then we talked about it again.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
He was so cool. That he was on Team America, right?
He was the lead puppeteer on Team America.
Yeah, I love that. I just watched that the other day. Talk about problematic movies. So good. It's problematic in all the wonderful ways. I don't even know if that counts.
It might.
It might. Yes, some of it stands as like good film, and it's important that it's there. It talks about race and all that stuff intentionally.
Yeah,
and then there's other stuff.
Satire is different, and
right.
So and satire kind of like teeters on this line of maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. It's the same thing with The Office. The Office. If some people watch The Office and they hate it, but I love it because they do very specific things to show you that some of the not so good things that happen they're doing it by the characters who are not the not so good characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that because there's so much cringeworthy stuff on The Office, and it's like, yeah, I know this isn't okay. It's because of what's happening to the characters right now. All right, gang, so now I'm adding a little bit of gray. It's just white and black, and just tapping that in there. I still want to keep this fairly light but smoky looking. Let me do a quick reset. Sorry about that. See if that helps out. So adding a little bit of gray in there. Again, want to make sure it's nice and light. There may be a few little touches of darker paint here and there, but you want to keep it relatively light so that all the focus, once you get to the actual symbol when we add it, is there on that symbol. So you can see I'm adding a couple little dark touches here and there, but really, really subtle. And I'm going to let this blend in with the white. Might even add some white to it if I need to.
Can you guys hear me chew? I don't know if I'm being super loud.
I can, but it's not super loud.
Okay, because I'm chewing on Neko wafers and they're really loud.
I also am not a, what do you call it, misophonic person. Chewing doesn't really bother me, but...
It's more like loud snaps, like that in my mouth. Because I don't suck on them, I chew them.
Right. Jerry Anderson puppets. Excuse me.
Like Thunderbirds and stuff.
Yeah. You know what I watched the other day that I had never seen before was Stingray.
What is that?
It's the same style as like Thunderbirds and all that, like practically the same show, but it takes place underwater. So they're like water planes or something. It's very, very much the same thing, but I had never heard of it before. And then I was listening to a podcast by, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. The guy who voices Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, he has a podcast and it's about voiceover artists and stuff like that. And his theme song is this theme song from Stingray for some reason. So I was like, what is that? That's so weird. And then I started watching the show. It's bizarre, but it's just like the rest of those. It's fun. It's very like jazzy 50s and 60s, like Stingray.
Have you ever seen Strings? Have we talked about Strings here? I don't know if we have. Strings is a movie, all marionettes. It's so pretty. It's and I'm just looking at Letterboxd now, and Will only gave it 2.5 stars, so we're gonna have a conversation about that.
Whoops.
But it's like from the Netherlands or something like that. It's in English, and it's like a fantasy tale. But all the puppets, all the marionettes, their strings are part of the story. They're integrated into the story. So, for example, like they have a life string. Their main string, if that gets cut off, they die. And so,
wow.
And if like one of them loses a hand, they literally have to cut it off of another one, and then they put it on themselves. And these strings go up into the heavens. So every puppet has a strings, and they all go into the heavens. And the way they like lock up people, so if you go to jail, they basically put you in like a little square that's above you, so your strings can't go past it. So you get jumped into the square. So you're sitting around on the ground, free to walk around anywhere, but you can't leave that area because your strings get caught up in the square above you. Their gates are
That's crazy.
A bar will come up off the ground and just lift up, and so your string can't cross it. It's really pretty. It's called Strings.
I love that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's very.
That sounds awesome.
But it's very cool.
I like that kind of stuff, though. I mean, I love all movies, really, as long as, well, not all movies. Let's say I love most movies as long as I'm not watching people like being tortured and stuff like that. But I like those kind of artsy fartsy movies every now and then. Gets me thinking in a different way.
I'm gonna send Will I'm gonna ask Will why is it 2.5 stars on it. So we all know. Find out right now.
Necrofilm, Billy West. Yes, Billy West. Thank you. Couldn't think of his name. Okay, so I've got my firebender area. I've got my airbender. Next, I'm going to work on this next section here. This is going to be my water bending area. So I'm creating this blue family. I'm going to start with my light blue and then just kind of build on with some midtones and some darker blues.
I'm sorry, I'm back up a little bit. The second area was just grays?
Yeah, this is just kind of grays. I put a little off-white in there too. Okay. That's for the airbenders.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You know, the color of air.
Grays and whites.
And now I'm doing the water bending area. I'm just going to start with this light blue first, and then start adding on some mid blues. And again, you could just tap this on, or you can add some strokes of blue, add some shapes in there. Totally up to you. Just keep it nice and loose.
I said, yeah, the bottom lip is pretty much all that moves. Yeah. And the Team America, they have some cool like animatronics in them. That's pretty cool.
Oh, in the marionettes?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're very fancy marionettes.
It's such a good movie. It's so bad, but it's so good.
If you watch like behind the scenes videos, you see Greg Buller walking around the background a lot. Greg Buller is, I tell people, he's a good friend of ours, and he used to be our puppet master at Disney for a little while. He was great.
Yeah, he was great. I learned a lot from both him and
Tommy.
Who was the other guy?
Tommy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they're both like big veterans in puppetry in Hollywood. Like,
yeah,
Tommy Fountain was
he was Madam for.
He's Madam. I don't know if you guys look up Wayland Flowers and Madam, and so he took over the role for a while of Madam after Wayland Flowers died. He was also Salem the Cat in the original
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was the first SAG represented puppeteer ever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Right?
Am
I making that up? No, I don't think I'm making it up. So,
I mean, it's good trivia, whether it's true or not.
I think it is. I think it was him. Yeah, they're both really great, and they both still work in the industry a whole bunch. I haven't heard from Tommy in a while, though. I should check on him. I talk to Greg, I don't talk to him, but I see him on Facebook a lot.
I do. Yeah, I see Greg on there, but I haven't seen Tom in a while. So I'm just adding some white now to help blend this blue water bending area into the air bending area a little bit. And I'm tapping the white where the two color families kind of meet, just to help blend them in a little. Just keeping it really extract. Necrofilm, not even Edgar Bergen. You know, or like Sherry Lewis, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they just... I feel like Edgar Bergen and Sherry Lewis made careers out of their own, what do you call it? Like their own skits, their own like gimmicks, their own types of puppets. But Tom kind of took puppetry to almost like an actorly level.
Yeah, and that was kind of the whole point that that when it happened, he was basically being treated like an actor, and he was taken to the director and all that kinds of stuff. So they kind of pushed for him to be treated like an actor. Yeah, because before that, and even now, it's still really hard to. There's still a whole fight about getting puppeteers the right kind of representation, or a lot of film and TV people try to get away with lower contracts that don't pay as much and don't protect you.
Right. We won't name names. Yeah, like Alf, totally. Where you're getting a puppeteer actor to play that role.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than Sherry Lewis coming up on stage to do her lamb chop bit that she does. Not that that's any less, but it's different. Okay, so I've got fire, air, water. Next, we're going to do earth. This is a combination of multiple greens. You can also put a little bit of brown in there too if you want. I'm going to start with a light green. This is like a green yellow. Green is blue and yellow in case you don't have any nearby. Oops. There we go. Let's lock that in there. So just like before, tapping that green up. Oh, it's so funny. I was just thinking, it's kind of quiet.
Ryan's still a little behind.
Ryan.
Oh,
he's
no,
doing
it's
he's doing an energy bending. That's what it is.
It's not capturing properly. This is
Oh.
from a while ago.
Today is Internet Woes Day.
That one didn't work.
And then Art will grab us some music in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking, like, why is it so quiet?
It's because it's been a while.
Yeah, it totally has. So many things. No worries. It's a very quiet, contemplative, Zen painting today.
Well, at least we've been talking, so that helps.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. That would be so awkward if it was just like a complete paint in silence.
Yeah, there's Ryan's. He's taking a.
Ooh. Nice. I thought of doing that on like a square canvas, but that's going to be really cool. I love that. So I'm adding some darker green on there. Just kind of tapping that throughout, letting that blend a little bit with the blue underneath.
Oh no.
Brian is painting a polar bear in a snowstorm. A little bit too much. Good morning.
Is that good right there?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I'm going to add one more layer of green. This is a darker, what's called a phthalo green. It's got a little bit of blue in it. It's kind of like teal, but it's more green than blue. I'm just going to add a couple little taps of it here and there. Redeemed. How's everyone else doing? Everything good? At least staying safe and hanging in there. I can't help but feel like there's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel at moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still, I get a little antsy where I'm just like, I just want to go outside. Almost there.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little weird being at Legoland yesterday. I went to Legoland yesterday to work. I did a
fun
at Legoland. It wasn't as I think because I'm vaccinated now. I'm like it wasn't as stressful as it could have been.
Yeah.
Because I went to the Apple store like a month ago. Because I broke my iMac, by the way. I cracked the screen on my iMac.
Oh,
Big
no.
27-inch iMac. So I take it to the Apple store and they were like, okay, just wait right there for a few minutes. So I was there literally standing with and they're just watching. It was packed. The mall was packed. And I was just standing there watching all these people just walk past me. It was so weird and unnerving.
That is weird.
But Legoland was a little better because, I don't know. I guess there's more space. I could avoid.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
And outdoor, right?
And outdoor, yeah. So that helped.
Yeah, that would be weird. I don't know how I feel about that yet. A friend of ours invited us to like a rooftop party
Yeah.
this weekend, And I'm like, initially like, yes, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then Jared's not fully vaccinated yet. He will be like the week after. So I'm like, okay, well, not yet. But even if we were, I'm wondering like, wait, am I comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Like, am I okay yet? I don't know. I kind of have a little social anxiety anyway, like pre-COVID. So now it's like, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's definitely weird, unusual.
We're going to Disneyland on Friday for cast preview.
Oh yeah.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know how that goes as far as like protocols and all that. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to Disney World's approach.
Yeah. I mean, Ember's
with space and everything.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. So we'll see how that. And obviously, it's probably going to take a few weeks for them to get into like full functioning, because I'm sure they're doing everything is so different.
Yeah, totally. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of like all of the extra training and planning and everything that has to go into all the new. I mean, I say protocol, but really like everything's changing. Mm-hmm. Everything about the Disney experience is going to change. I feel like I want to wait until I can walk in a park and not be reminded of the fact that we're like post-pandemic, if that makes sense. Like I want to just be able to go, yeah, I'll wear a mask. Yes, I'll wash my hands and all that stuff. But I don't want like giant signs everywhere, like walk this way, do this thing, go over here. And so we'll see. Frank, thanks for letting me know about the Canvas overlap. I appreciate that. And then Necrofilm finally got started on the Project Art Car.
What is that?
Yeah, let us know. Frank says, will we ever shake hands again? I feel like people probably will, but I almost feel like maybe there's something better that we could do that doesn't require the handshaking. Because I almost feel like the handshaking, yeah, it was good at times, but also I felt like people took it to a weird level sometimes. You know, when you shake hands with someone who's just overly aggressive with their like super hard handshake to show like how intently they are happy to meet you. And it's like, all right, sir, calm down. I see you. You're there.
I might shake hands again, but I'm definitely never eating the cake somebody blew out the candles on anymore.
Especially at a kid's birthday party.
Yes.
Never again. Yeah, and I'm someone who used to love buffets, so I'm like wondering. Oh, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
I wonder about that, but
I mean, maybe buffets will take a little bit of a different approach to things. And somehow now where they hand you things, they're like, "What do you?"
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, like
I kind of like that anyway.
Even before the one buffet I like in Vegas called the Wicked Spoon, not all of it, but a good chunk of it had like predetermined sized things. So you would just grab the little, you wouldn't sit there and scoop things out of anything. You just grab it's like a little plate or something. So if they could do that with somebody going, okay, nobody except the person who has gloves on could just hand it to you, then you avoid some of that.
I think that's a great idea. Frank says, I only meant to, I don't have a weapon on it, an opinion on it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion either. I mean, I was fine shaking hands with people. I was a hugger too, like with my friends. I'm just like, oh my gosh, so happy to see you at work and all of that. But now it's like, yeah, I don't know how I feel really. I think it's just going to take time. Like even with my own family, I haven't seen my family yet. I think we're going to be like in May, like ready, fully vaccinated, ready to go. But yeah, there's just this comfort level of like, I don't know how comfortable I feel being around people yet. Necrofilm says, to give you an idea, go to Google Images and punch in Star Wars art car. You will see Sean's car.
Star Wars art car.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to have Art punch that in and he'll bring it up for us. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to start putting in our symbols.
I hugged Candace the other day out of just instinct. And I hugged her.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm already here. Because she asked me for something, and so I went to drop off something because she lives close to me. And we were out in this outdoor little like cafe. We were just talking. Well, I stopped for like 5 or 10 minutes. It's like, okay, well, she's going to go. So I'll see you later. And I literally was like, well, I'm already here. It was like short. I
Aww.
was like, the fact that like
What do you do?
I had to think about it. I was like, well, I'm already here, and we're both wearing masks. Probably fine. She doesn't leave her
I
house
love that.
except to go to the cafe.
Yeah. Candace. Tell her I said hi next time you see her.
I will.
Okay, so now these are pretty dry. Even my top one's dry. I'm gonna work from the top down at this point, just so that I'm not accidentally rubbing my hand in the part that I've created already. So I'm gonna start up here with my Earthbender sign, and Art, if you can zoom in on the green block here, that way we'll be able to see the signs up close. Necrofilm says, Obi Sean, his current car is a 350Z with laser cannons and R2 on the back. What? That's cool.
Do you want to refresh one, see if you can get a little clearer image?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's paint.
And then maybe before we leave, when you finish doing what you're doing, then maybe in case it gets
yeah.
Again.
Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with the little spiral in the center, and that's going to show me the rest of the symbol that I'm building. Each of these symbols uses the spiral, so this is kind of like the base for it. I'm going to start somewhere toward the center of my green area and just create a counterclockwise spiral in black, and I'll lift my hand up in just a second so you can see it. But just take your time with these little elements here. You can also, if you'd like, use a black Sharpie. There's my spiral, and then around that I create this like container shape. I always picture it as like the hands holding. So above the spiral, it's a straight piece, and then it comes down at a bit of a diagonal. On either side. And then I'm going to bring this down on both sides, just a straight line, probably about a ½ inch to an inch. And then bring them into the center. Now they're not going to touch in center, they're just going to come just shy of center. So I'm actually going to create 2 more lines right next to each other, just so that I don't accidentally go too far in center. And connect the bottom there. And connect the bottom there. And then at the top of these 2 lines here, come in, or rather go out toward the sides. On both sides. And then do 1 more right in the center of both of those. So as you're doing this, it may not be perfectly symmetrical on both sides. It's okay. Think of this as like it's like an ancient etching, right? It's not going to be exact. It's not going to be perfect. It should have some element of that hand-drawn touch to it. Okay, so there's our first one. Next, we're going to do the water bending sign below it. I'm going to start this one with a circle as like the circle container. It should be about the same size as this shape here. You want them to be kind of relative to each other. So I'm going to start with a clean brush just so I have a nice line. In this blue, if it overlaps a little bit on the green or the white area, that's okay too. I'll move my head in just a second. Just want to make sure it's center. That's good. And if you're a little loose with the sketching too, that's all right. Let me refresh again. Just filling in the line. I kind of like that it has this little extra sketchy effect to it.
Our friend Kelsey, who was just on chat time this past week, has the Earth Bender symbol on her wrist. That I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. It's such a great. I mean, all of these symbols are just so clean and simple. I really love them. I mean, if I got any more tattoos, it would probably. I would not get one of these. All right, so I've got my circle container there. Wow, is it still really fuzzy, Art?
It's a little fuzzy, yeah.
This is so frustrating. All right, hold on just a second. Let me see. I thought I lost you completely there for a second.
Nope, right here. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That's also not what I wanted.
That's not a bad idea, though. If you want to bring it up next to it.
Yeah.
You can feel free to block me out.
Okay.
You don't need to see my face. And then let me try something else. I will be right back.
Okay. I'll put this here right now so we can see the symbol. Uh-oh. Hey, look at you. You're clear.
Hello.
What'd you do?
Yeah, I just took it off the hardwire and thought we'd just give it a try on pure Wi-Fi and see how it goes today. Fingers crossed, gang.
Oh, I think it's the outside internet.
Okay, so now inside of the circle, we're going to do 3 wave shapes along the bottom edge here. I'm going to start on the bottom first and just create a little wave. Kind of think of the Pepsi logo. So 1, 2, and 3. What happened?
That was really big on screen for a second.
Oh. And then I'm also going to do these swirl symbols that we had from up here. I'm going to bring 3 of them down here on this upper part of this circle. The first one is actually going to look like a continuation of this first wave, as if the waves are coming down and then curling over itself. So pretend like it's going here, curl that over, and just let that spiral do its thing. Oh, that's pretty good.
You can see him.
Yeah. Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. And then I'm going to create another one coming out from the top. This spiral is going to live beneath the spiral that I just painted, as you can see in the sample there. So go ahead and paint it as you normally would. It's a little bit smaller. And when you reach the spiral next to it, just stop and start again on the other side. And then I'm going to do one more smaller one right up here. Just like that. One of these days I'm going to make it into the studio and we won't have internet issues. Knock on wood. We'll figure it out. Because I'm in San Clemente, so it's a bit of a drive to Long Beach, but maybe we'll...
Maybe once a month.
On this very special episode of Perception Paints.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the water bending symbol. And next in this gray smoky area, we're going to do the air bending. This is 3 of the spirals. They're a little bit more elongated almost. They kind of work in this triangle shape. There's 2-ish on the top, 1 toward the bottom. So start toward the center and build outward rather than building in the center. You can take your time and just kind of get the feel for the shape of it.
Spirals are not my friends.
What's that?
These spirals are not my friends.
And then you just let that spiral tail kind of flick upward and out. So yeah, spirals are sometimes weird. I like to build them in sections rather than like shoo, just like take your time little by little and build it out as if you're drawing circle after circle after circle. So we get another one over here, more toward the left. So I could have brought that a little bit closer here and give me more space there. So I might change that later on once the painting's dried. Paint over that area and move my little spiral there. But I'm going to compensate and move my 3rd spiral a little bit closer to this spiral down here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I like that one better. So again, I'm gonna move this guy later on once I repaint it. But you can see the difference between this and the sample. I'm just gonna nudge him later on. But in general, I like it. washing off my brush again just to make sure I have a nice clean brush to create some nice clean lines. And next we're going to do our fire symbol. This one is a little bit more detailed, so just take your time with it. I'm going to start with the spiral in the center of it. I'm just keeping it all centered here. Let's see, 1, 2, okay. Okay, so there's my starting spiral. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spiral upward and create the middle flame. So it's curving up here toward the center before it curves back out again. And then curves back in again. Just think of it as like a little flame shape. It's got that point on the top. Comes in before it comes back out again. And I'm not going to let it touch the spiral. It's going to come just short of it. Right about there. And then in the center of that, coming from the spiral, is just a little squiggle of a line to help with that fire shape. Okay. Next one we're going to do is from this the bottom of my spiral, I'm going to create my left side flame. So it's going to come straight from there. Curve upward. It's going to just miss that line there. I don't want them to touch. And this is going to be a shorter flame than the one that I just painted. And I'm leaving some space here too, because I want to create another little squiggle line in the center there to kind of fill out the rest of that. But I'm not going to do it just yet. Next, I'm going to build out the flame on the right. Same kind of idea, coming from that spiral. Shorter than the one in the center. And just let that come down, a little bit of curve. And then there is a single line that kind of brings both of those flame shapes together along the bottom. It's kind of like a smiley face that's connecting the two. So in between here, just painting like it follows the shape, curves along the bottom of that spiral, and then comes back up into the other flame. And then you can go back in there, and you don't want the lines to touch, but just bring them a little bit closer so it looks a little more like a symbol. There we go. Now, once you've got all the colors on there, you've got all the symbols on there, next what we're going to do is create all of the black shading around it, just kind of fill in everything else on the canvas. You can do this, again, super loose with your large brush. I've got my kind of chunky stippling brush. If you've got one of those, that works great too. But I'm just gonna be filling in everything from the outside in. I don't want to lose all of the color, but I am going to bring it in quite a bit. And you can either stroke it on there like I'm doing, or you can tap it on to create more like a smoky, kind of rough stippled shape. It's totally up to you. But what I would suggest is taking the black on there first, applying it on the outside edges, and then slowly start to bring in on top of some of the black, little by little. And you can leave as much or as little of the color underneath it as you want. Oh no, what happened, Art?
Still working on those water spirals.
Oh.
Okay, that's good
enough. This is a similar technique to the lightsaber painting that we did. We kind of did all the colorful artsy painting underneath it, and then add that black shadowing around it to really create that nice sharp focal point. So you can kind of do this technique with anything in this style. If you want to do a tree painting or some cool landscape, you can go ahead and paint it, and then on the outside edge, using this same technique, you don't even have to use black. If you wanted to do a landscape and then put like a purple or green haze around it, you do the same thing. Switch to my large brush and just fill in some of this on the outside edges. And then I'm going to swap to my stipple brush and texture it out a bit. Or did you say you worked a job at Legoland yesterday?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was filming Kids Imagination. Have we talked about Kids Imagination? Have you seen them?
No, I don't think so.
Kids Imagination, they do a bunch of kids shows. I filmed a bunch of their web series and music videos. Um, they're super talented. They make all really cool kids music, and so they've been performing at Legoland for like a couple months. So they wanted to get a good video of their performance. So I went to record both of their shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was real fun.
And they're performing inside the park?
Mm-hmm. Inside the park in one of the stages.
That's really cool. I love that. I really love Legoland. I've only been there, I think I've only been there once when it first opened.
Oh yeah, and that's way different now.
Yeah.
Here, this is my first time going there.
Oh, I really loved it. I mean, it's clearly a park for kids.
Yes.
And this was, I want to say like 99 or 2000. So
oh wow,
at least 20 years ago.
It's got to be way different than when you remember.
Yeah, and it was also before Lego had really embraced their adult builders and collectors. Mm-hmm. So everything really was kid identified, and then you would occasionally see like a Star Wars set or something that was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like if I were an adult Star Wars fan, I might like this or something. But now that they've got licensing for everything, I really would like to go back one of these days. I mean, I live so close to it too. It's only like 45 minutes away, if that.
It's funny because I got to go backstage, there was an area where they just had left like old builds that they had done. So there was like a car-sized Star Destroyer just be on the ground, like it'd been there for a while. Like it was just like their like little graveyard, and half of them was giant Death Star.
Oh my gosh, how sad!
It was real sad, yeah.
Because they used to have a Star Wars exhibit, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I wish I had taken the time to go see that. I don't think they have that anymore.
No.
But they had like full builds of like all the key Star Wars scenes and all that. I would have loved that.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Reed H. Cooper's back. He says, yes, I get to come in as we end. Hi, Robert.
Hi!
Yeah, I think Reed had a busy day today. So he might still be working.
Take the load off, Reed, if you can, and just relax and enjoy our chill painting today. Yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't go see the Star Wars stuff while I could have. I never thought to go to Legoland, and I always really liked it. I just never went. Who knows? Maybe they'll do it again. They'll do it bigger and better next time.
I've been drawing this air symbol over and over for the last 10 minutes.
This guy right here?
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, just to get like the ratio and in them in the right place. I'm gonna go back and redo mine too.
I might have to do that.
Reed was filming on-screen stuff.
Oh, cool.
Are you still working, Reed, or are you done for the day?
Okay, I give up. This is what it's gonna be.
I'm sure it's great. Oh, you're home now. Okay, good. Good, good, good. I like that Reed like stepped away from work for a bit just to come into cinephilia.
Yes. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. So yeah, with these outside textures as you're bringing them in, take them in as far or as little as you'd like. Create some cool organic kind of smoky shapes around it. Just keep it loose. Keep in mind any of those cool color moments if you like the way that the reds and the yellows are blending here, or maybe there's some cool blue blending on this side. Leave some space for those. But other than that, there you go.
Yay. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get my here.
Reed says that he told Art to say hello to me.
Oh, I think I did. I mean, I think you did, and then I did.
Yeah. No, I think you did actually, or you and I talked about it. So either way. Hi.
It could happen, I'm sure.
Yeah. And yes, as far as my internet service, you know, San Clemente is a really pretty place to live, but it's really shitty as far as technology and restaurants. We have about 12 pizza restaurants within a 12-mile radius, and that's about it. So I only have Cox internet, and sometimes it's great, and most times it's really sad. And today is one of those most days, unfortunately. Which is weird, because the last few times that we were doing this,
great.
it wasn't so bad. We were doing pretty good.
It's maybe because your internet company was like, oh, he doesn't do that thing on Mondays anymore, because you didn't do for days. So we don't need to worry about him.
They're just a bunch of assholes anyway. It's stupid. They keep charging more and more. They're like, you just went over your data plan. It's like, no, I didn't, but fine, whatever.
Oh, you have data caps? Sucks.
We do, but they're so high and we shouldn't be hitting them.
Yeah.
I mean, we stream video and stuff most of the day, like as we're watching TV and stuff. And I'm on the occasional Zoom call for work, but every now and then I'm downloading large files and stuff, but it shouldn't hit as often as it does. So I just upgraded it to the next thing. But whatever. Internet, yay.
Okay. This is a bad time to have done this. I have stuff on my hands and I can't click buttons.
Yay!
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm
gonna refresh one more time.
I got sunburned and I was just putting aloe on my arm right where I was like, this is a terrible time to do this. This is mine. That's what I got.
Nice.
Is that okay?
Your symbols actually turned out really good.
Yeah, I took all. It was a lot of that air one was the one that was giving me nightmares. So it's fine.
Yeah.
And here's Ryan's. Oh, he did something different.
Ooh, I like that.
He might have gotten scared of the spiral, so he did something else.
Those are really cool. I like that. Reed, you stop. Flattery will get you everywhere. Well, Art, thank you, and thank you to all of you for joining us today. It was so nice to be back. We still have our partner push going for perception.
Still happening, yeah. We've sent it in a few times. They've said no, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Those
they
buttheads.
say yes. It's just a forever partner push till we get it, because they oh, that might be the fifth element. And that Ryan was doing. But yeah, make sure you guys come back. We really would love for you. We still need people there on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Friday nights for Solon's Legacy, Perception Check, and Trash Piece. Perception Check is doing real well, so I don't worry too much about that one. But Tuesdays and Fridays particularly, we'd love to have you guys there. Fridays we're just barely hitting that number, so we want to hit. We need a 75 average or so. But we were hoping to keep it more in the 100, so that we have a little bit more. A little more room to breathe. Yeah, Reed, this one was mine. This one right here. So you make sure you guys come back. like I said before, I'm no longer posting a weekly schedule because guess what? Every week was the same, so it's just being super redundant. So our schedule's gonna stay the same for a while. We'll let you know if something comes up, and then yeah, we'll be back Perception Paints next week.
Yeah, I'll post up on Perception Paints on Discord too, the upcoming painting for the next week. Yeah. That way we can all get ready for it.
And if anything happens, just make sure you guys check the Discord to make sure that if we have to cancel, we'll let you know there, or we'll give you more information. So thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll Cinephilia later.
Paint you later. Bye.
Bye, gang.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's the wrong one.